Buggy the Clown. Just who is he? Really? Behind all the makeup, the insidious laughter, and his famous big red nose. According to a handful of sources, he was a cabin boy for Goldie Roger. But what if I told you that he was much more than that? What if I told you that Buggy the Clown was actually Goldie Roger himself? Listen, I know I sound crazy, but just hear me out for a moment. I have evidence that might prove this theory true. Let's start with Goldie Roger's execution. We all know that legendary moment in Logetown where Roger was supposed to be executed. But what if I told you he never was? What if I told you he was in possession of the power of the Bara Bara no Mi, the fruit which is famously linked to Buggy the Clown, the fruit that makes you impervious to blades, unkillable by blades actually, the exact opposite of Monkey D. Luffy's fruit. Due to Roger having eaten the Bara Bara no Mi, he was able to fool everyone and fake his own death in front of the world. But what now? What would the purpose of this be, you ask? Why would he fake his own death? Well, now, without the pursuit of the world government, he is truly free to pursue a new goal, that of which is guiding the next Joy Boy to the One Piece. But he would not do this alone. He would tell just a handful of his closest confidants this crazy plan. Roger told Rayleigh, Whitebeard, Odin, and Shanks. That is why they all played along with their recollection, quote unquote, of the Buggy Apprentice facade, right? Shanks would be an integral part of Roger's plan, as Shanks would be the key to finding Joy Boy. And then after, Roger would help guide Joy Boy along the path to greatness. But Roger knew he would have to make a drastic change to not blow his cover. He no longer wanted to be Goldie Roger. He needed to kill that part of himself, get rid of it entirely. He would need to change his voice dramatically, put on lots of makeup, dye his hair blue, and wear a permanent clown nose to avoid any suspicion. And that is when Buggy the Clown was born. Once Luffy went out to sea on his own, it was the true death of Goldie Roger, as it was at this point that he would truly kill his ego and fully transform, and he would not let this persona go until his goal was met. The act was on. He meets Luffy in Orange Town, and it is the first true test for the young Joy Boy. Buggy casually defeats Luffy and Zoro in this short arc. Buggy at this point is high Emperor level, but he must hide his power, for he is simply a little East Blue pirate captain. Right? That's what he's supposed to be. So he allows Luffy and his friends to defeat him after a long hard battle, but not before truly cutting off the ties to his past. Buggy slashes through his old straw hat, the one Luffy now wears, being the only person to ever damage the hat, which is impressive, especially knowing all the insane battles Luffy has had with it on. Not a single person has been able to put a scratch on it, except for Buggy. Buggy decides to give the Straw Hats a break for a while, right? He kind of disappears from the story for a little bit until they begin approaching the Grand Line, where he captures Luffy in Logetown, the place where Buggy faked his death so many years ago. He wanted to test the young Joy Boy and see what he would do in the face of death. And what did he do? He smiled. Luffy smiled. And Buggy didn't need to see anymore. A bolt of lightning miraculously strikes the execution platform, freeing Luffy and allowing the aura of the Pirate King to envelop him, being that he survived in the exact spot where the Pirate King supposedly died. We don't see Buggy again for a while, as he wanted to give Luffy the chance to grow on his own, but he was always nearby. We see Buggy again a bit before the Skypiea arc, where he finally gets to meet his son, Portgas D. Ace. This moment was a tough one for Buggy. Ace snuck on Buggy's ship to get some rest. When Buggy's crew asks if they should attack Ace, Buggy simply says they shall not harm him in any way, since he is linked to Whitebeard. Buggy deep down sees this as the perfect opportunity to finally have a long-awaited drink with his son. The two share a drink, lots of food, and party together for the first and final time. Ace had no idea that he had finally met his good-for-nothing father. Buggy did not break character, and this day with his son is one he will cherish for the rest of his life. After that, Buggy lays low for a while and has some fun trying to find Captain John's treasure. It ain't the One Piece, but it's a close second, when he suddenly hears that Ace has been imprisoned at Impel Down. Knowing that Luffy would not resist in attempting to save his brother, Buggy purposely gets captured by the Marines and allows himself to be imprisoned at Impel Down, where he would wait for Luffy and put on the act of the century, pretending to be Luffy's enemy, but secretly helping him all along the way. After it is confirmed Ace is no longer at the prison, Luffy, Buggy, and the others escape. Buggy predicts that the Marineford War will be a crucial, yet extremely dangerous place for Luffy's growth. Buggy decides to go with him, but not before convincing the Impel Down escapees that they should become his underlings. The Pirate King still has a way with words, and they do not hesitate to join him. Captain Buggy now has an army of pirates at his disposal, ready to throw their lives away for him. Buggy thought this would be an important part of the plan for the long game, which we will get to later. We know how Marineford goes. Buggy was keeping an eye on Luffy, but also getting into some mischief along the way, embarrassing the world's greatest swordsman, Dracula Hawkeye Mihawk, who even with a black blade could not damage the ex-Pirate King, thanks to the powers of the Bara Bara no Mi. Buggy is also a crucial component of this war, because it is thanks to him finding the video Denden Mushi snail that many of the climactic moments of Marineford were broadcasted around the world. Buggy is a genius, and his act never stops, acting like a fool on camera, but really, he wanted to show the world the horrors of war. Eventually, Shanks arrives to end the war, and Buggy plays along and pretends to be the childhood rival for appearances, right? But they both know the truth. Shanks passes Luffy's straw hat to Buggy so he can justifyingly bring it back to Luffy, who lost it in the battle. It is at this point that Buggy secretly passes an envelope to Shanks, which we don't see in the manga, stating that Shanks needs to speak to the Gorosei to help him become a warlord, since Buggy needs to stay in close status to Luffy to justify future meetings with the young Joy Boy. Shanks eventually obliges and gets his ex-captain a seat at the warlord's table, which he will eventually do for Buggy's future emperor status, what we will get to later. At this point, Buggy had been in talks with Rayleigh to train the boy, so that phase 2 of their plan could begin. Knowing it would take a couple of years, Buggy decided to take some side quests in the meantime, and dedicated his time to taking over the Underworld trade market. Fast forward a few years, and Luffy has become much more powerful, defeating the likes of Doflamingo, the Sweet Commander Charlotte Katakuri, and the world's most powerful creature, Kaido of the Four Emperors. During these events, Buggy has also been growing exponentially in influence, as his underworld dealings have taken on unprecedented levels, monopolizing the entire thing and becoming one of the most important people in the entire world. Once Kaido and Big Mom were defeated, 2 new emperors must take their place. It was an easy choice: Luffy and Buggy. 2 pirates destined from East Blue to achieve greatness, and also both linked to red-haired Shanks. Coincidence? I think not. Now Phase 3 of Buggy the Clown's plan can commence. He has been in the shadows manipulating events from the very beginning. The King of the Pirates has beaten the game twice now, even starting a new character and reaching the rank of Emperor on a second playthrough without even having to swing his sword. Truly a mastermind. Buggy is Goldie Roger. I don't believe in coincidences. Only one man can do so much seemingly wrong, yet come out on top every single time. He is playing chess while the rest of us are playing checkers. He is a master of the pirate game, and he will ensure, with the help of Shanks, that Joy Boy rises again and liberates the world. But he won't hold his hand. He has to face the challenges head on with the crew he has assembled. Whether it be Blackbeard, Akainu, the entirety of the world government, Imu-sama, he is standing with the elite of the elite now. We're in the endgame now. Truly. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and drop any comments supporting or debunking this wild theory. All hail Buggy the Clown. Until next time, take care, guys.